Here's what most people don't understand about getting rich. The boring businesses that nobody talks about. Those are the ones that print money. While everybody's chasing the next sexy startup or crypto scheme, there's people out there right now quietly building million-dollar empires, doing work that sounds like the most ordinary thing in the world until you see the profit margins. I'm talking about businesses so unsexy, so under the radar that your friends won't even understand what you do. But your bank account will understand perfectly. Now, in this video, I'm breaking down 6 boring businesses that quietly make millionaires. And here's the thing, I'm making over $41,000 a month generating leads for businesses like these. And my students are pulling in $2,000 to $6,000 a month doing the same thing. If you want to learn that model, links in the description. But let me show you these 6 businesses first. Business number 6, dumpster rentals. Number 6 is dumpster rental, and here's one that's capital intensive but highly profitable once you scale. Most owners in this space are netting $150,000 to $200,000 a year once they have a decent fleet running. Getting in the door will cost you. You need a truck, a trailer, and dumpsters, right? Anywhere from $15,000 to $50,000 to start small, and full operations can require $100,000 in capital. After all your expenses, you're keeping 20 to 30% for well-run operations. Let me show you the math here because this is where it gets good. Look at it this way. You rent out a dumpster for $300 to $500 and your cost maybe run $150 in dump fees and fuel. So you're keeping $150 to $350 per rental, which is a 60% gross margin. Now, multiply that by 6 dumpsters running constantly, okay? A single truck can then generate $200,000 to $400,000 a year, and 6 dumpsters consistently rented could yield you $27,000 a month in gross revenue. And that's not even a big fleet. And here's what I love about this business model. It's simple. Buy dumpsters, rent them out, repeat. You're not reinventing the wheel here. Demand is tied to construction and renovation, and there's always construction and renovation happening somewhere, right? Business number 5, fire and water damage restoration. At number 5, we got fire and water damage restoration, and this is a high margin, high demand business. Here's what owners are actually taking home. Even small operators can net 6 figures, and established companies see $100,000 to $200,000 for owners. Wondering why? Because disasters don't stop. Fires, floods, burst pipes, right? They're constant, and they happen every single day. Here's the part that nobody talks about. Insurance pays well for restoration work, and this is the key. Customers aren't price sensitive because they're not paying out of pocket, right? The insurance company is actually cutting the check. The investment to start is only going to run $30,000 to $50,000 minimum for a small setup, and full operators can require $100,000 in equipment and vehicles. You need dehumidifiers, air movers, moisture detectors, tools, and vehicles to transport all that equipment back and forth. Profit-wise, expect 10 to 15% after overhead. But here's where it gets interesting. Mitigation work, that's the emergency response, right? Can have gross margins of 75%. Rebuild work has lower margins, maybe 30 to 50%, but it's still solid profit. Let me put it into perspective. A single fire restoration job, $50,000 contract. A basement flood dryout, $5,000. One big job covers your entire month of expenses and then some. Small companies frequently hit $1 million in annual revenue with just a handful of techs. Let's be real though, the work is 24/7 on call. You're getting calls at 3 a.m. when somebody's basement is flooding, but it's also extremely lucrative, right? And that's what you're signing up for. Business number 4, plumbing services. Number 4 is plumbing, and this is right up there with HVAC in terms of earning potential. Small firms see owners taking home $50,000 to $100,000, and larger ones hit $150,000 to $250,000. Most established plumbing business owners are pulling in $80,000 to $120,000 once they've got a solid client base built up for themselves. Here's the question I always get. What does it take to get started though? Well, count on investing $10,000 to $50,000 to get in the game. If you already have a truck and tools, you might start on the lower end. If you're outfitting from scratch, though, you're probably closer to 50,000. When it comes to margins, expect 10 to 20% on average. Efficient operations will hit 15%, and very well-run shops will push 20 or 25%, okay? Emergency plumbing work has even higher margins, though. You ever had a pipe burst at 2 a.m.? You're not shopping around for the best price, right? No, you're calling whoever picks up the phone, and you're paying whatever they charge. Now, here's what you can bring in. One plumber can generate 200 to 400,000 in annual revenue, and small firms with a few plumbers can hit 500 to $1 million super easily. Okay, the U.S. plumbing market is 170 billion, which means there's more than enough work to go around for everybody. And here's what makes plumbing so valuable: it's essential and non-negotiable, right? When a pipe bursts, you're calling a plumber. Period. That demand keeps prices strong and work steady year-round. If you've got the license and the skill, plumbing is a straight path to six figures and beyond. Business number 3, crime scene and biohazard cleanup. All right, number 3. Here's the one nobody wants to talk about. Crime scene cleanup, trauma cleanup, biohazard remediation, right? Now look, I can hear you already. Josh, who wants to do that? And that's exactly why it pays so well. The real number you care about, owners, guys, are clearing $150,000 to $250,000 for their business, okay? Let me tell you why. Because the work is horrifying, right? And almost nobody wants to do it. But somebody has to do it. And here's the kicker. Insurance usually pays for it, which means customers aren't price sensitive. They're not negotiating. They want it done. To launch this business, expect to spend around $10,000 to $20,000 for equipment, your training, some supplies. You need, protective gear, cleaning agents, disposal contracts, and certifications to operate legally in most cities, right? The actual profit to your pocket will be 20 to 40%. And some sources say top companies hit 30% because pricing is high and costs are low relative to what you charge, right? So a single job can bill anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 or more, depending on the complexity and the size. Let me paint the picture for you. You handle just 3 jobs a month, guys, okay? 3 jobs, $3,000 each. That's $9,000 a month in revenue. And you're netting maybe $3,000 to $4,000 after expenses. But do that consistently, and you're looking at $36,000 to $50,000 annual profit, just working part-time. Scale it to full-time with small team, 6 figures becomes super easy for you. The demand is steady because, unfortunately, tragedies happen. And when they do, somebody has to clean it up. The barrier to entry is emotional, right? Not financial. Most people can't stomach the work. But if you can handle it, this is one of the most profitable niches in the entire service industry. Business number 2, HVAC contracting. Number 2 is heating and air conditioning. Most HVAC business owners are taking home $70,000 to $150,000, with many sitting right around $100,000. Larger operations with multiple crews, though, $150,000 to $250,000, with some of them even hitting $300,000. Now, let's talk about what it takes to get started. You can launch, guys, with just $15,000 to $50,000 if you're going solo, with one van, tools, inventory that gets you rolling. But if you want to start with a couple crews and an office, then you need to plan like $75,000 to $150,000 in initial capital. But here's why HVAC is so profitable. After all the expenses, you're keeping 10 to 20%. Well-managed companies aim for 15%, and top performers will hit 25%. Okay? And the jobs are expensive. Replacing a furnace or an AC unit runs $5,000 to $15,000 per job. A single tech working full-time can generate $200,000 to $300,000 in revenue if they're staying busy and booked out. Small HVAC companies with 1 to 2 techs can hit $500,000 to $1 million in sales, and mid-sized firms with multiple crews will do $1 to $3 million a year. If you're curious about, the secret to making HVAC work year-round for you, then think about heating in the winter, cooling in the summer, and maintenance contracts to smooth out the seasonality. That's how you stabilize your income and keep cash flowing every single month instead of dealing with feast or famine. And emergency work, guys, that's premium pricing, right? Somebody AC dies in July, they're paying whatever you charge because they don't have a choice. The market is massive. Every building needs HVAC. New construction, replacements, repairs. It's nonstop demand. If you can handle the technical side and you're willing to hustle, HVAC will pay you very, very well. Business number one, auto shop repair. And here we are at number one, auto repair shops, guys. Here's what owners are actually taking home. Well-run shops see $150,000 to $300,000 a year net after all expenses are paid. Some small operators, though, might only pull in $60,000 if they're struggling. But premium multi-bay shops, $500,000+ for owners is completely possible. Let me tell you why. Because cars break. Always, right? And people will always pay whatever it takes to get them fixed because they need their vehicles to get around. Here's how the numbers actually work, though. Consider this. A single bay shop doing solid business can bring in $100,000 per month in revenue. That's over $1 million a year from one location with one bay. Multi-bay shops with multiple techs, $2 million to $3 million in annual sales is completely normal. Now, let me guess what's going through your head right now. Josh, that sounds great, but what about getting in the door? Look, I'm not going to lie. The investment is significant. You're going to need $50,000 to $200,000 minimum to open a small shop. Equipment is expensive, right? Lifts, diagnostic machines, tools, it all adds up fast. But here's what makes it worth it. After all your expenses, you're keeping 10 to 15% for a healthy shop. Some poorly managed ones only hit 5%, and the best ones can hit 20%. But look at it this way. A shop doing $1.5 million in revenue at 12% net margin means you're netting $180,000 for yourself. And that's pure profit before you even factor in your labor. If you're also working as a mechanic in your own shop, right? You're paying yourself labor on top of all the profit numbers. The demand is endless. With 280 million vehicles on the road in America, every single one of them, guys, needs maintenance and repairs all the time, right? The barrier to entry keeps competition manageable because not everybody can afford a startup cost for this thing or the technical skills to actually do the work. So if you know your way around an engine and you've got the capital to invest, then this is a cash machine. Look, I can hear you already. Josh, these businesses sound boring as heck. Yeah, they are. That's exactly why they work. While everybody else is chasing the next crypto pump or trying to become a social media influencer, these businesses are just sitting there printing money for people who show up and do the work. You and I both know the real money isn't in the sexy stuff. It's in showing up and doing the work other people won't do. Wondering what the next real secret is? It's not sexy. It's not complicated. It's finding a service people need, doing it better than everybody else, and charging appropriately for your time and your skill. That's it. Auto repair, HVAC, plumbing, crime scene cleanups, restoration and dump rentals, right? These aren't get-rich-quick schemes. They're get-rich-for-sure businesses if you're willing to put in the work and stay consistent. Now, here's the thing. These businesses work. The money is real, and the opportunity is just sitting there waiting for you. But you're competing in crowded markets. You're bidding for jobs and you're trading your time for money. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that approach. But if you want to control your income, if you want to own the asset that generates customers instead of chasing them down, then you need to check out what I put together for you. Digital leasing is how I'm making over $41,000 a month without bidding, without competing, and without trading my time for dollars. I build digital properties that generate leads, then I lease those leads to business owners for $500 to $2,000 a month. I own the asset, I control the leads, I set the terms, and my students are doing the same thing. Some are making $2,000 to $6,000 a month, and some are scaling past that number. The training is completely free, and you'll find it waiting for you in the description below. If you want to build something that lasts, something that pays you every single month, whether you're working or not, then go grab it right now. And if you got value from this video, drop me a comment and let me know which boring business surprised you the most. Let's go build something that lasts.